Hi, have you seen this kind of warning before? I bet you have. And it doesn't even matter which browser you use, whether it's Chrome, Firefox, Safari, or Edge. But do you understand what your browser is warning you about? Why is it even showing you this warning? And what could you possibly do to fix it? In this video, we'll try to answer all of that. So to demonstrate, I'm going to access the web page of my website. I'm going to call it demowebsite.com. Now, as soon as I type the name, I get this warning. But before you throw your fist in the air and curse Google, let's take a look at what it actually says. So here it says your connection is not private, attackers might be trying to steal your information, and then it gives me an error, cert authority invalid. Let's take a look at what's actually happening here. So if I see the top left, I can see this says not secure. If I click on it, it says your connection to this site is not secure. Certificate is not valid. So that's the problem. Now let's see why it's saying that it's not valid. Let me open the certificate. Okay, so here I have the certificate, and if I notice, the very first thing it says, this certificate cannot be verified up to a trusted certification authority. Well, this is almost plain English. So Chrome is telling me that the certificate authority is invalid, and when I open the certificate, it says, well, if I see here, it says this certificate is not in the trusted root certification authority store. That's more specific. Now we understand this is the reason we're getting this warning. See, the thing is, almost all browsers make use of the trusted CA list or certificate authority certificates list to validate any website certificate authority. That's a mouthful. In other words, if the system doesn't have the CA of the website trusted, the browser is not going to trust it either. So now we got the what and the why. Let me show you what happens if I make the computer trust the CA. So in order for me to do that, I just have to select this my CA certificate. I can click on view certificate and then click on details. I can copy it to a file, and I'm just going to use the base64. It's most popular, and I'm going to put it on the desktop. I'm just going to call it CA cert. Now if you can get this certificate through other means, that's absolutely fine, but using this trick you can get the certificate authority of any website. So I can click on next and click on finish. Export was successful. Great. That's step one. Step two is actually installing it. So if I go to desktop, I can see the certificates there. So I'm just going to double click and open the certificate. Okay. So once the certificate pop-up is open, I can see this new option called install certificate. So I'm going to click on it, and it's going to give me two options. So I'm going to choose local machine so that anybody who logs into this machine has the certificate installed for them. And I'm not going to choose automatic. I'm going to make sure that I use manually in the certificate store for the trusted root so that it goes in the right place. Confirmed. Click on next, finish, and done. Now here I don't get a confirmation, so if you want to see if it's there or not, all you have to do is go to run and type mmc. So here I've already typed it, and I can go to file, add, remove, snap-in, certificates, click on add, computer account. Remember, we installed it on local machine, so next, this computer or local computer, yes, click on OK. Now if I expand the trusted root certification authorities, I should see my CA, and there it is. Awesome. Now before I go back to my browser and refresh the page and show you if it's working or not, I do want to point out that you would see this kind of issue commonly with self-signed certificates, which are usually an in-house thing or a misconfig. And also note that I broke this on purpose to demonstrate the issue and the fix. But in the real world, you should probably stay away from such sites that give you these kind of warnings. Okay, so let's go back to our browser and see if it's working or not. And just to make sure that it's opening cleanly, I'm going to open this in incognito window. So let's go ahead and this should work, right? Right? Okay, let's try. Wait, that is still showing me the same warning. It says your connection is not private, same caution sign, same message, but hang on, I do see a different error code, and that's the hint. See, it says cert common name invalid. So again, I should just investigate what's going on with the certificate. So I'm going to open, this time I'm going to show you from the three dots, more tools, developer tools, and the security tab. I get some more information, but what I'm interested in this message, this site is missing a valid trusted certificate, and that's the problem. Well, it's not really missing a certificate, it's missing a valid and trusted certificate. Yes, it does physically have a certificate, but it's still not happy. So let's open this and see what's the problem. Okay, so let me go to certification path. Okay, this is okay, and the CA, well, that's also okay. So the problem is actually here. See, what I'm typing on the address bar of my browser is demowebsite.com, but if I notice in the subject it says netsecgo. Well, that's not what I'm typing. So let's see another field, which is subject alternative name. Okay, one thing to note here is that even though it says CN or common name is invalid, it's all about SAN or subject alternative name field nowadays. You can specify any number of names in there, any IP addresses, wildcards, anything really. So this is what Chrome and even other browsers are now using to validate the identity of the website server certificate. Okay, so in this case the name is actually demosite.com, and I could access it via IP address or this name. So what's really happening is that when I type demowebsite.com, I'm able to resolve it to the correct IP. So I'm getting the certificate from the website running on that IP. So the DNS is working, but I'm not using the right name. So there's another name which is the correct name, that is demosite.com, and that is what I need to use. Okay, so let me go ahead and close this box, and now I'm just going to remove the web from there, and that should work. Yes, it indeed works. So I can see the lock, I can see the connection is secure, I can see the funny fact, dogs' noses are like human fingerprints, each one is unique. Nice. Okay, so this hopefully demonstrates what happens in the cases when you get warnings. So these are the two most common ones. And for the common name and SAN, I would say that you give it a try with google.com or any of the well-known sites. If you type google.com in your browser, and if you open the certificate like the way I showed you and go to the SAN field, you should see dozens of Google names in there, from YouTube and regional Googles and all the other services that Google runs. So in the SAN field you can put a lot of information, and that's probably why the browsers have switched to it, because it's more relevant. Okay, realistically these kind of scenarios shouldn't happen unless there is actually something or someone doing man in the middle. It could be a firewall, a VPN, or something bad. I have one last scenario to cover in this video, but before I do that, let me show you how it looks in the security tab for this working condition. So I'm going to click on three dots and I will go to more tools, developer tools, and here if you look at the security overview, it says this page is secure, valid HTTPS, certificate valid and trusted, everything is green, lovely. So this is how it will look for 99.9% of the websites that you visit. Okay, now let's move on to our third and final scenario, and I will just close this and I'm going to close this tab. Okay, now I'm going to open the same website. There's nothing wrong with the CN, there's nothing wrong with the SAN, and there's nothing wrong with the CA. Alright, in fact, let's close this incognito and let's go back to our main window. Let's close this. Okay, and I will just type this. Alright, this should be pretty straightforward. It clearly says that your clock is ahead, and you might have noticed that the caution triangle has now converted into a clock. So it clearly indicates that there's something wrong with the clock. And if we read the message, it says a private connection to demo site can't be established because your computer's date and time are incorrect. So if I look at my clock, it actually says 2024. That's definitely wrong. But the context in which it is wrong is because of the certificate. So if you see the certificate, it says it expires on June 1st, 2023, but the current date is June 3rd, 2024. Okay, so I'm not really from the future, but what I'm trying to show here is that what if the certificate issue date or the expiry date is not covering the present time? Meaning, is the certificate already expired or has it not even started its issue date? Now this one is very easy to fix. I can just go ahead and fix the clock on my system, and that should take care of it. The question is, does it happen in real life though? Well, yes. If the clock on the system is incorrect and the system cannot reach the time server on the internet, then it will continue to stay in the different time state, resulting in some of the sites showing this warning to the user unless someone fixes the clock. And I say some sites because all the sites would have different certificates of different periods. Like this one is valid till 2023, but there might be sites which are valid till 2025. So in that case, even if I had incorrect time of 2024, I would have no issues. Another thing I wanted to show is that Chrome has a decent help page with particular steps for each type of message. So these are some of the main errors you would see. Once again, I wouldn't advise doing the changes that I did earlier for actual or legitimate warnings that you get when surfing the web or trying to access a page. Instead, try these troubleshooting steps and see if that resolves the issue for you. The point to take away here is that stay away from such sites if you don't know what you're doing. And before I close out this video, I'll just leave you with the slide of the common error codes on each browser. They're quite similar to each other across different browsers, and the reasons and troubleshooting methods are the same as well. That's it for this video. Thank you for watching it till the end, and if you like this video, please do subscribe. It would mean a lot to me. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.